Speaking of Cardi and Opium and label or whatever, I saw this post by Straps and I thought it was interesting. Ken Carson made another series of tweets. He probably deleted it. I mean, he's posting in cursive, maybe Twitter, or maybe he just can't actually read his own cursive, so that's why he has to delete it. But anyway, he said that he's trying to drop on Halloween, but he might be having like label issues, or at least that's what Strapped inferred. They said, Ken Carson says that the label doesn't let him release on Halloween, he will release via SoundCloud. So let's get into the tweets. I'm not the reason nothing will come out Halloween. So he's saying if it doesn't drop, because he's been teasing or Halloween drop for a couple of weeks, but nobody believes him because he just caps every single time he says he's gonna drop. I don't even know. Like, bro, you know how easy it is to drop shit on SoundCloud? Literally just press a button. If I don't drop Halloween, I don't know when I'm gonna feel good enough to do so. Give me Halloween. Shit be so lame. Halloween still at SoundCloud. So maybe he's trying to get like a little SoundCloud deal, like Lil Yachty did with Poland and Uzi did with Red and White. Now, I don't know if he's gonna get a bag off of it, although he very well could. But he's like holding Interscope or Opium accountable. So if he doesn't drop, yo, I'm trying to see if he has like label issues or something. But he also did just drop X, so maybe his label just doesn't want him to drop something else to overtake the hype of that. Maybe it's not performing too well, and so he just wants to drop, or maybe his label wants to keep pushing that shit, especially because it was executive produced by Playboi Carti. Even though Project X was better, y'all, I don't know why he claimed X. Whiny Tugboat says, I'm glad he's being transparent with his fans. Always wonder why rappers aren't doing certain things. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Ken does well, and like that's why Ken the past couple of years has blown up so much, because I feel like he actually feeds the fans, and it's not always in the most like obvious way either, because you know sometimes he has like little SoundCloud leak tapes, and you never know if he actually dropped it himself on like another page, like an archive, or if somebody actually hacked him or like took some songs and dropped it without his permission whatsoever. Like he took a page right out of Cardi's book, because sometimes you never know if Cardi did the same thing, if he leaked like a whole lot of Red V1 himself, or if, you know, somebody else did it or what, because academics even said that Cardi did it, but then we hear like people behind the scenes saying that nah, like we just stole that shit and dropped it because it was so fire. But regardless, hoping Ken Carson drops on Halloween. I will be here. I think we can react to it, and hopefully he can redeem himself from X, because I ain't trying to hear no you know, maybe that's like all the snippets that he was previewing. I don't know what the next project's called or what the next tape's called, but you know, X, y'all know my opinion on that. I think that his newer lower voice where he sounds like Future, that's the next wave for him. And like the And I also just wanted to add, now that it is the next day, and I thought about it a little bit more, they're probably trying to make Ken Carson, now that he's more of a developed artist, kind of like how Destroy Lonely is currently. You know, for the past 2 years we've been waiting for No Stylist, and finally it dropped and it got really great reviews, right? Even No Stylist is going viral on TikTok currently. So maybe they're trying to replicate that whole marketing strategy, since of course that originated from Playboi Carti, or maybe somebody else, but you know, Carti's known for being the super rare mysterious dude right now. So maybe the label, not necessarily like issues with Ken Carson, or Ken Carson doesn't have any issues with the label, it's just that they're trying to do what's best for him, at least in their opinion, and that's make him into a more mysterious figure, so that when he does drop, you know, don't necessarily play into the young boy strategy where you drop every single song that you create or preview every single song. You just every couple of years or every year drop the best of the best, the Carti method, if you will. But we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting if Ken and his label go to war now that he is signed to a major, which is Interscope, and Opium, which is obviously Playboi Carti. I could not imagine that, you know, they could ever get in a fight. It's almost like the ASAP Rocky Carti relationship with Ken. No hate, but But the reason Ken's here is because of Cardi. So it's like, are you going to listen to your elders, the people who put you on and are teaching you the ways of how to market yourself or how to move in this music industry and be like next up? Because Ken is revered as one of the top artists in this realm for a reason, in this new wave, because he's one of the more influential characters using like the rage beats, or he was one of the first. And so you got to keep a hold on that. Again, X might not have been in the right direction. They're trying to get back onto the yellow brick road with Canary Diamonds. So y'all let me know in the comments what you think about this. Is Ken having label issues, or are they just trying to do what's best for him, or are they shelving him? Could be a lot of possibilities within the next couple years. Now that we're in a recession, labels ain't got money, no company has money. This whole wave is, you know, dying down a bit. I suspect we'll get a new one with Dom Corleo, Hard Rocks, Southside Silhouette, among others, with this new like ambient 808 sound. But we did just come across like a pretty big wave. It wasn't big as 2016, but still like underground kind of peaked, at least for now. Something else that people just don't realize is that when you sign to a label, this happens all the time, that there's just more clearance processes. Like, they actually have to pay people properly or else they will get sued. They're a bigger corporation, therefore they're a bigger target for if you use a sample that like a producer found on YouTube or some Bulgarian chili recipe or something. They could come back and just sue the label for millions, worth way more than what the actual song or production is worth. And so maybe there isn't any necessarily like label issues with Opium or Interscope. It's just that's the way it is when you become a bigger artist like Ken Carson, or just when you sign to a label, there's just more people on the list that they're scheduling releases for and whatnot. That's why people get pissed off when an artist signs, because then the schedule of releases, like say Sofago, and this is no diss, but like just they start not dropping for like 2 years, whereas you're used to them dropping every couple of months or every single week on SoundCloud on like an amateur platform. But once the label gets involved, like there's money, like it's a business. So it's not just like drop music, like they're trying to make money out of it. And so if you're dropping on SoundCloud for free or pretty close to it, then you know that's their problem.